And we are back to another episode of the Boss Bus Between the Cheeks Bonk Extreme with the one, the only, Paul Brunetti.
Nice to see you again, Zack. It's been a bit since we've had an episode, but
Yeah.
that's when Life has got back from Sacred Earth, which is always one of the best weekends of the year, you know, psytrance and dance. And I brought a bunch of Bionicles with me, actually, and everyone loved it. People are like, oh, those are Bionicles. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, I remember playing with those. I was like, if you ever want to learn the lore.
Yeah, we got a podcast.
So if you guys are here from Sacred.
Perfect.
Hi.
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
But yeah, so we left off right after the second movie last time. Basically, we are in a flashback told by the Turaga, which are like the elders, about when they were Toa fighting in Metru Nui, which is this old like kind of metropolis city. They fought Makuta, who caused the Great Cataclysm, which destroyed the city and a lot of other shit in the universe, killed a bunch of people. The Toa Metru, which is now the Turaga, they are in this flashback now. They're taking all the Matoran who are in their like stasis pods to somewhere else because the city's destroyed and they need to find a new place to live. So they go on a lot of adventures. It's not super important. They fight like a sea serpent. They do a like small little like side quest. It's basically a side quest arc.
Gotcha.
Where they just go around looking for a new place and find the island of Meternui outside of this like cavern. And they get the Matoran there, and they're like, we need to go back because they couldn't get all the Matoran on the transport. So the 6 Toa go back to Metru to collect the rest. And then when I get back to the Metru Nui, they're like, shit's gone down. Like it was already fucked up before because of the Great Cataclysm when Matanui fell asleep, when Makuta put her to sleep. And Makuta's still trapped in his prison of the Protodermis, so he's still stuck. But they enter the city and there's like green webs everywhere and everything's like creepy and spooky and there's wild animals going around.
Oh, no.
And they're just like, oh shit. But they're kind of cocky around, like we fucking defeated Makuta, like we're hot shit. And they're just walking around, and then they just get fucking ambushed by ththese spider creatures called the Viscerac. They're literally just spiders that have like little spinny things on their back, and they just come out and attack the Toa and paralyze. They just get like jumped and like get paralyzed and get fucked up, and they wake up in cocoons with just their heads like exposed, like getting trapped, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? And 2 new people show up. We got Siderax, which is he's a king of the Viscerac horde. He kind of looks like her, but like red. He's kind of a dumb little douchey simp. Is really the character. Yeah. He's a simp. Is really what he is. And he's just like, oh, I got you guys. Fuck you. We're gonna hurt you, and then we're gonna kill you. And then Rudaka, who's this girl, who's basically the goth queen ass bitch, motherfucking dominatrix kick ass, who's got high heels and boobs. She's like, yeah, fuck you nerds. Like, you guys just literally walked into her trap. You're idiots. She's like his viceroy, and she's like kind of in charge, but like in the shadows. And yeah, they're just gonna make fun of the Toa, saying, fuck you. You're gonna get tortured and then die. And so, trapped in their cocoons, they are injected with the Viscerac venom, which is a mutagen. Mm-hmm. So it transforms the Toa Metru into the Tora Hordika. They become like almost bestial, like their masks fuse to their face, so they lose their mask powers and their elemental powers. Their hands and arms just like twisted over, look like kind of monstery, like beasts, like basically like werewolves kind of looking things, like of like a Toa werewolf. Yeah. And they're just like transform, and it's super painful, and they're screaming and freaking out and losing their minds. And they like burst out of these cocoons, and they're suspended like tall in the air outside like the main tower of the Metru Nui, and they're falling basically to their deaths. Like, after they transformed, they were just from extreme pain, like Siderac said. But they are rescued by other creepy little beastie things called the sorry. The names are insane, but it's
they are insane.
Radika. I think no, it's Rudaga. Rudaga are there. There's 6 of them. They're like smaller. They kind of look like if the Hordika, like these bestial Turaga, so like the kind of the sages, they kind of save them. They have like the faces of the Rakshi, the ones with the spikes that have the worm faces. They kind of look like them, and they're like, they fly around on little helicopter wings and save the 6 Toa and kind of get them out of the city. And they're like, they kind of explain everything to the Toa. They're like, you guys are now Hordika, you've been injected by this venom. You are going to turn completely bestial, completely like primitive, and just into monsters unless you learn to like learn who you are and control yourself, but also allow yourself to have that like control over that bestial side of yourself. And this is a super long arc, like it's like 3 books long, and the first, so like the Borak, the whole Borak arc is 1 book. So this is a long book, but it's not a lot really happens. It's basically them trying to learn their powers, figure things out, do what they can, and they fight in the city and are able to like basically get enough space and like clear out parts of the city so they can like figure things out and like relax a little bit. But the whole time, Vakama, the red Toa, who was like kind of the head who made the Mask of Time, who helped defeat Makuta, who's the main Turaga in the main story.
Gotcha.
He is like not about it. He's like, first, like he hates himself, like he feels like he failed his team. He feels like he's always been a loser, a little baby. He's just kind of a sad boy and always just like complaining and hating himself. But because he's in this bestial primal form, he's taking it out on his friends and blaming them. And like, just like, fuck you guys don't like me, like like fuck you guys, you're not my friends anymore. And Matau, the green one's like, you're just quit being a bitch, dude, like fuck you. Like they're just all just like can't stand Vakama anymore because he's just being a whiny little nerd. And so so like as they're training with the Rudaga, they start learning their controls, except for Vakama, who just can't cut it, and he just fucking dips and leaves. And he once again gets captured by the Visorak and taken to Rudaka. And she's like, oh, yeah, your friends hate you. Like, that sucks. So maybe you should join me. Like, you know what? I fucking hate Sidorak. Like, he's a fucking bitch-ass simp nerd, and he kind of sucks. But you could be king, and it would be great. Like, you and me, we could control all those Visorak. We'd fuck over your friends. And you wouldn't have to feel bad about it anymore. So she basically kind of temptress, like, just says, yeah, come to the dark side, nerd. Like, it's going to be nice. And he's like, yeah, fuck my friends. I'll be the king of the Visorak. Fuck Sidorak. And then Sidorak comes and goes, hey, what you guys doing? and Rudaka's like, yeah, he's joined our team. He's like, awesome, man, you want to come? And he's like showing him around and like, hey, and he's showing all the spiders like, hey, he's spawned on our side now. He's like the third in charge. And they're just like, cool. And he's just like, yeah, man, and just chummy bummy with them, like completely oblivious. And so while that's going on, the rest of the Toa are starting to control their powers, and they're talking to the Rudaga, and they're like, okay, well, there is a person, there is a legend of this guy named Kitangu. He is a Rahi, and Rahi's in this world of like the beast, like we've talked about before. But he's like a sentient Rahi who can cure any illness, cure any virus, or like he's master like potion dude, basically. It's like, but we don't know where he is. We got to find him. And there's a big kind of search. So they look all over the city and outside the city into like the wilderness. Eventually find him in this crevice near the temple. And he's just sitting there like meditating. He's like a fucking monk. He's like if Sasquatch was Buddha. He's like a beast man, but he's also like a Buddhist monk and just like super zen and like cool. And then he's like, "What's up, dudes?" And he's just like, "Peace be with you," like hanging out. And like, we need the cure to this venom. And he's like, I mean, I can cure you, but not yet. Like, you have to. It's unity duty. You have the unity and you have the duty, but you need to achieve the destiny by defeating the Visorak first, and then we can save you guys. He also knows that they need Vakama back, but he doesn't tell that to them because they fucking hate Vakama as much as he hates them right now because Vakama's a little bitch boy. So they're like, we just gotta fight. We gotta take down the. He's like, I can't cure right now, but we can fight with you. So there's 5 Toa, Kitangu, and the 6 Hordika, who, and during the story they talk about it, they're like, we used to be Toa, and we got turned into these monsters by Rudaka way back in the day. She's fucking our arch enemy, and our whole life is devoted to fucking that bitch over because she's the worst, and she's conniving and terrifying. Oh and God. So, and she's the one that transformed them from Toa into these monsters. And so they all team up together and start fighting the Visorak horde, and they like kind of burst in the middle of the city and like expecting for a fight, and nothing's there. And then Vakama comes out, and they're like, "Oh, Vakama, what's up? We were looking for you. Like, are you still a bitch boy?" And he's like, "Fuck you!" And then he's just like, "Get him, horde!" And then the spiders just come from all over and just like attack. And Sidorak and Rudaka come out next to him, and just like, "Yeah, he's one of us now, bitch." And they're like, "Oh shit!" And so they're fighting all of them. Kitangu's like, I'll handle the bad boys. And he like climbs up, like going after Sidrak and Rudaka. Matau and Vakama face off because Vakama's like, fuck you, because he was the one that was like, quit being a bitch. Vakama, and like being like antagonizing Vakama. So I was like, fuck you Matau, see, I'm cool now, I got friends. And they just fight and just like kind of get into a big fight. And meanwhile Kitangu's climbing up to like catch Rudaka and Sidorak, and Sidorak's got his like little gun thing and he's shooting it at Kitangu, but his little bitch boy misses, and Kitangu's kind of like climbing up this, like scaling this castle while he's just like dodging shots from this bitch boy, and he's just like, oh, and then Rudaka just shoots once and just hits him right in the face, and he falls all the way down to the ground, just like crumples to the ground. Oh. And Sidorak's like, yeah man, we got him. He's like, and she's like, and he's like, let's go check out our kill, and she's like, okay, but she knows, like, that's not going to kill Kitangu. Kitangu's like a motherfucker. One shot ain't going to kill him. But she's like, sure, let's go. And they go downstairs. Meanwhile, Matau and Vakama are fighting off again, still just like shouting at her, like, you're mean, you never liked me, you were never my friend anyways, like, fuck you. And Matau's like, you know what? If you really want to kill me, take the shot. And he just, like, offers himself up to Vakama. And Vakama, like, that's where he's finally like, you were my best friend. Oh, and I did care about you. I'm sorry. And they like make up, and he's like, okay, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just having an emo boy moment, basically. I was listening to too much Fall Out Boy and all that shit. I just needed my friend to say he loved me. And so he's like, okay, I'm on your side, but he doesn't tell. He's like, but Sidorak and Rudaka don't know this yet, and they're like, okay, so he's gonna try to like strategize for him, and so Sidorak and Rudaka go down to like check out Kitangu, and Sidorak's like the simp. He's like, Rudaka, you can do the honors in finishing him off. Like, here you go. And she's like, nah, I'll let you take it. And she just walks away, and he's like, what? And just Kitangu pops up and just fucking crushes Sidorak to the ground. Like, it's just his fist just like breaks him into the ground and just kills him one shot. Just, like,
oh my god!
His day. And it's fucking insane. And he just destroys her while Rudaka leaves because she's like, yeah, she wanted to kill him. She basically used him as the execution tool. They keep fighting the Sidorak, and Vakama goes up to Rudaka. And while they're kind of finishing up the Sidorak, it's almost looking like the Rudak, or the Rudaga, not Rudaka, Rudaga. They are all fighting the Viserak, and they're winning. Vakama kind of takes all the Rudaga and brings them to Rudaka, and was like, hey, I captured all these guys. She's like, sweet, they've been a thorn in my side forever. Like, fuck these nerds. She's like, I got them for you. And she kind of gives them to him. And then, shoot, what happens? No, sorry. Before that, rewind. So, after Matau and Vakama make up, they all kind of realize their destiny after starting to defeat that horde. They surround Kitangu, who uses his power to bring them back to the original Toa selves. And they're just like fucking wiping the floor. And Vakama takes the Rudaga up to Rudaka. This is when he takes her up to her. He's like, hey, I captured these guys. And he's like, sweet, these guys, fuck these dudes. I hated them forever. And she's like, yeah. And he just kind of throws them at her feet. And she's like, sweet. And just kind of like is ready to like kill them. And then the other 5 Toa jump up and just surround her and just like start beating the shit out of her. But she doesn't seem to be fighting back. She's like kind of taking it. And then like they all like she kind of knocks her back and she's like getting ready to die. And they all like take their elemental powers and are about to shoot a beam at her. But she doesn't move. She's just standing there taking it. And then like the leader of the Rudaga, I think that's the wrong name. Whatever. If you are a Bionicle fan and you know their real name, I apologize because
there's a lot.
It's a lot of names. I'm bad with names.
And they're really weird names.
They're weird names. I mean, yeah. Okay. So they're all about to blast her, and the leader of the Rudaga is like, no, fuck! Because he sees on her necklace, or all around her neck is a necklace of a little shard of the solid protodermis that's surrounding Makuta. And they just blast that shard, and it bursts. And when it bursts, the solid protodermis around Makuta breaks as well, and he bursts free, and that shadow arm reaches out and grabs Rudaka and just like tucks it into himself, and like he becomes like powerful again, and like she is absorbed by Makuta.
Fuck.
Yeah, and so he forms Makuta, and he kind of disappears. Like he's still hurt, he's still recovering, so he leaves for now. And then the Viscerak are still coming and fighting, but because the Viscerak were following Sidorak, and Sidorak told them that Vakama was cool, and then Sidorak and Rudaka are gone, they're like, "What's up, boss?" And he's like, "Fucking leave, scatter to the ends of the earth. I never want to see you again. Like, just go away." And they're like, "You got it, boss." And they just like leave. They're just like grunts basically, but like monster spiders, and they leave. And so they save the day, and they survived. And they're able to ground up the rest of the Matoran that are still in that stasis. Kichangu and the Rudaga, again, bad name, are like, "We'll wait here, but we can't go with you. We got stuff to do here." And they're like, "Okay," but like, if you ever need help, we'll be here. And they come back in the end, but that's their kind of story for now. And so the Toa with the rest of the Matoran leave Metronui, going to Matanui. And during that, Vakama's like, "I got one more thing I gotta do." Because earlier when they fought Makuta, he used that Mask of Time, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And he used it to like kind of slow down Makuta so the other people could escape. And then Makuta was trying to like kill him during that time. He was trying to slow Makuta down, but he couldn't. And what's his name? Toa Likan, the old golden-faced one from the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
The Turaga Likan jumps up and sacrifices himself, but during that, it blows the mask off his face and into the water. So the Toa the Mask of Time, the most powerful object in the world, is just in the bottom of the ocean somewhere, and he needs to go find it. Otherwise, because it's like one of the most, it's like the OP weapon.
Yeah.
Anyone could get it. So he's like, "You guys go on ahead. I need to go find this." And they're like, "Okay." And so he goes into the water, and he's able to find this mask. But there's something, and it was broken. So he's like repairing it. And while he's repairing it, this other monster, this guy, he doesn't speak. He's kind of like a monster. He's kind of like, he's not a Rahi. He's a Toa. He's not a Toa either. He's a species, a human-ish species. Mm-hmm. He doesn't speak, and he is like time focused. Like he is like drawn to time loops or distortions in time. And he is part of the Dark Hunters. And these Dark Hunters, this is lore. This is when the story starts to get a little deeper. So the Dark Hunters are these like missionary group that just gets paid, like back in the old times, they were like paid by different armies or different bad guys. Makuta's used them before, other people have used them before, and they basically are like very powerful mercenaries, as powerful as Toa. Really fucking scary. In the first movie, that spider dude, he was a Dark Hunter at the time, and he got destroyed by Makuta, but that doesn't matter. So this guy is called to the Mask of Time, and he tells his boss, the Shadow One, who is the leader of the Dark Hunters, and they're coming after the mask. And now that one dude, the monster that doesn't speak, again, I don't know his name, and I'm not going to guess at it because I would be wrong. He has the power of time. Like if you touch him, you age super fast. Like just slowly crumble to the ground. Oh. And it's actually like in like the Bionicle lore, it's like that kind of is how Bionicles do age, but just really, really, really slowly. Because like they've been alive for thousands of years, but like if you touch him, you slowly age and then like will break apart and die. So this monster thing literally is invincible because like if you shoot at something, the bullet or the blast will like just disintegrate or age and just fall apart.
Holy shit!
So he's just like Time Man. Like you touch him and you die. And then the Shadowed One's super powerful, like cool ass dude as well. And they're coming after Vakama, and the most unlikely pair join because Vakama's like, "Oh no, I ain't gonna win this. Like this ain't gonna be good," and then Makuta's like, he goes up to Makuta's like, "Dude," because he doesn't want the Dark Hunters to get the time mask either, because
Yeah.
like he wants a time mask, and he knows if the Shadowed One gets it, he could fuck up Makuta. So Makuta and Vakama team up to fight off the Time Dude and the Shadowed One, and they just like are fucking fighting him, and it's like a big ass battle. It's really cool because Makuta has like 100 powers.
Yeah.
So many
got
cool
all the
powers
shit.
and stuff. And so they're fighting everyone off. They managed to take down the Time Dude after like a heavy fight. And the Shadow One's still coming. And Vakama's like, okay, once we kill him, Makuta's just going to fuck me up. So I got one chance. And he's like, hey, Shadow One, you remember, does that armor look familiar? And he looks at Makuta's armor, and it's a collection of those two guys that he killed earlier. The one...
yeah.
Zack and the kind of monkey dude, he killed them, and those are his friends. He's like, fuck you, Makuta, and he just like comes at him, and Makuta, who just fucking kicks his ass, because Makuta's like a god at this point.
Yeah.
But it gives Vakama enough time to like run away, and just like grabs the mask and starts running, and Makuta fucking ends up drop kicking the Shadow One onto the dead body of the Time Dude, and he just like melts into like fucking ash, and it's amazing.
Holy shit.
And so then Makuta's coming after Vakama, and Vakama's like, Vakama's a bitch boy when he's a Toa, but he's also like really smart, like he has like the smart like tricky ideas, and he's like, don't you fucking move one step closer, Makuta, or I will break the mask. And he's like, I will like destroy the time-space continuum, basically. Like I will, like I'd rather destroy the universe than let you have this mask, because you'll fucking ruin everything.
Yeah.
And Makuta's like, okay, like fine. And he's like, what do you want? He's like, well, you gotta leave us alone. Like you gotta let me get away. You can't touch me with my friends for 1,000 years. And Makuta's like, he's like, yep, okay. And so they leave. So he leaves. He reunites with the rest of the Toa, who get all the Matoran in their capsules to the island. They seal up and like close off the entrance underground into where they came from Metru Nui, and they try to open these capsules, but they can't because they've been sealed, and because Mata Nui is sleeping, they don't have his power to open them, and they're like they've been closed for much longer than they should have been, because it's been like at this point it's been like a couple years since the Great Cataclysm. So the Toa are like, the only way we can open these is by giving up our power, and they give their power and they use it to open the capsules of all the Matoran. They turn into the Turaga at that point, and because these Matoran have been in those capsules for so long, they have no memory of anything. Like same as like the Toa Mata or the Toa Nuva, the OG Toa, because they've been in those capsules for long, they just forgot all their memories, and so that's kind of like how we got. That's like the or the prologue of the original story with the Toa Mata or the Toa Nuva, because they're like, and then it also makes you hate the Turaga, because like they knew everything and they didn't tell anyone anything. They could have told them all this stuff. They talked about bullshit prophecies that make no sense now that you know the actual story. They were talking about like they were just fucking with everybody all night. Like, and they had their like Unity, Duty, Destiny like bullcrap as like explanations. But yeah, so Turaga Vakama finishes the story to the Toa and the Matoran as they're looking off at Metru Nui that they're going back to, and they're like, okay, we got to go back there, because now that Mata Nui is destroyed, we need to start reawakening Mata Nui, because he started reawaken when the Toa of Light came back, but now they got to start reawakening Toa, the Mata Nui, and that's the end of that. So that was the movie, and then another epilogue. We could have made that 2 episodes, but
holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit. If you have any questions or anything, like, it is confusing.
Oh my god, the fucking dream team.
Oh, it was so fun.
Oh my god.
You're just like, yeah, when Makuta, like, joins your side, you're like, oh. Because Makuta's, like, a conniving motherfucker. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times.
Yeah.
And, like, his plans, like, he is a fucking mastermind evil man. He's a mastermind evil man, and he does really cool things. Udaka sacrificed herself for him, because she was like in league with him, and you'll find out more about that later. But Sidorak's a simp boy.
Wow, dude,
a badass Buddha Yeti.
Dude, the Turaga knew. They knew everything.
Turaga knew everything, and they just
and that's like so vital
like
to
in the Mask of
everything.
Light when Takua's looking for the new Matoran. He's like, you gotta find the new Matoran. Like, no, they knew it was him the whole fucking time. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta go look for him. And like the entire like Fire Nation got destroyed.
Yep.
Like people died and got attacked and like fucked up. And they're just like, you gotta find him.
Yep.
I don't know.
Good luck.
And like, yeah, there was other hints at their old story in the old ones, like back when the Toa Nuva were fighting a certain monster with like Turaga was like leading them into something, and they were fighting this monster, and Turaga Vakama used his mass power and had fought that guy before in the like arcs between when they were looking for the for Matanui, when they were looking for the island. He fought this monster before and it like knew him. You're like, how does he know him? I don't know. What's going on? And in the arc with Takua, like they're taught right before that, they're getting ready to tell them the story. They're like, we should tell them. They're like, and then they found the mask. Like, we should wait. And I was like, no.
No. Probably should have told him.
But yeah, so
Wow.
and they knew Makuta was coming for 1,000 years, but didn't tell anybody until he was there, like, until he started putting his presence known to the world, and it was just fucky. But yeah, next arc is a good one. It's probably my favorite arc. I think it's a good one.
Shit.
But that'll be the next episode. We'll get the Paraka. Paraka's coming.
Ooh, that's the Paraka rap, right?
Well, the rap makes no sense in the movie.
Yeah.
Or in the actual lore, and like the commercials for it doesn't make any sense either. Like up till this point, the commercials kind of follow the story, and farther down they follow the story. But for the Paraka rap, they just like wanted to make a rap and have a guy tour with fucking cringy music. But
Check out the Paraka rap. But wow.
yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you understood any of that, if you have any questions or anything, definitely leave them, and I will try to answer them either in the comments or in the next episode. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys are learning about Bionicle.
It's crazy. Yeah, thank you.
Because I could go way more into depth and talk about more stuff, but it's just like most people don't even know what I'm talking about already.
We're deep.
Yeah, and this isn't even that deep. It's the
Oh
funny
my
part.
God.
But yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We will, another announcement reminder, we will be at the Grand Comic-Con in Grand Island, Nebraska from October 1st to the 3rd. It's a free event. Catch the Synergy Nation Network.
I will probably be we're giving away a Bionicle raffle. So I will be giving out a Bionicle for the raffle. So look, if you want to get a Bionicle or talk about Bionicle lore, we can do it there. We might do a podcast there about Bionicle. I think we should do that.
Oh, yeah. I think that sounds great.
Ignition, that's the next name of the next arc, is one of the best arcs, and so that'd be a good one to do.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And I'll also be part of a D&D live episode at the theater down in Grand Island, which should be fun.
And it's all free.
Yeah.
So come chill. Come get turned. Come have a great time. It's going to be wholesome, fun, awesome, great friends. And thank you.
And keep it real.
Keep it real.
Oh.